Tonight we're going to do a green tomato cake. If you walked in the door and you smelled the wonderful smell, that's what's baking. That's what you smelled. So something a little bit different, something nice for the holidays. Right now we have green tomatoes in our produce department. They're coming from Mann Farms in Fort Blackmore, Virginia. So we're helping to support local farmers like we do most times of the year, but it's a little bit less in the winter, of course, and we're having to go other places, but I thought that would be something else to showcase these wonderful tomatoes. Now I've changed these recipes just a little bit than what's on here, but you can go exactly by them, except for we no longer have cans of coconut. And my daughter today was on the shelf looking, she was like, what is a can of coconut? I was like, it's just a bag now. And I said, that tells you how old this recipe is. And I also use self-rising flour instead of all-purpose, so I deleted the salt and the baking soda, but you can do it either way you would like. Okay, we'll get started. We preheat our oven to 350 degrees. Right now we're going to put sugar. We're going to put 2 1/4 cups of sugar. And then it says a cup of melted vegetable shortening, but I just throw it in there. You've got a good mixer, it'll go. We'll go with that though. All right. You probably could. You know, not many people use shortening nowadays. It does add a little bit of flavor, different flavor than oil. But you're welcome to try it because it does suggest that you melt it. Like I said, this is an older recipe when everybody had shortening at home. We're going to put, after we do that, we're going to put 3 eggs into our blender. All right, we're going to put in 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and I think we put 1 in this container. Whoop. Tell you, I've got off to a good start tonight, haven't I? Well, I put 2 in here. Well, I'm going to smell good, so. All right. Now we put in 2 teaspoons of vanilla. We're supposed to put that in a little later, but I jumped the gun. That's all right. And we're going to blend that up. I like to have that really good and blended before I add the flour. And you see my shortening's still there just a little bit. Calm down. Unfortunately, my plug is over here, so. This is a really simple cake recipe though, and it can cook while you're watching TV or doing something else, getting ready for the holidays. So a little bit of a thicker mixture. Also, we've already got our flour in. I've already added our vanilla. We're going to add the rest of our spices. We're going to add cinnamon. We're going to add a teaspoon of cinnamon. Always good for this time of year. And then we're going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of freshly ground nutmeg. Now, nutmeg is absolutely wonderful. How many of you all use fresh nutmeg? I do at home, but you can still get the ground nutmeg, but I like fresh nutmeg. And it only takes a second to grate up and it makes your kitchen smell wonderful. Okay, we're going to let that blend. And my oven's going off. We're going to blend that in there. And now we're going to add a cup or whatever you like, you prefer, of walnuts. A cup of raisins. We're going to stir that together, and this is a very, very thick mixture. Now, we're going to dice up 2 1/2 cups of diced green tomatoes. And I've got 2.5 tomatoes here, and that really gets about the amount you need. Now they're a little crunchier this time of year, I have to admit. But like I said, it's something good to use something a little different, and people, you know, it's always nice to tell them after they've ate what they just ate, because sometimes they're not really willing to try. Right, exactly. And I like to put different things in, you know, take a product and do it something different with it. I don't know if you all remember, a couple of weeks ago we did a cranberry tea. Did you like that tea that we had? And you used cranberry sauce, and it made basically a punch. About 4 more minutes. She's checking her cake. And this is what we're making right now. So, and it is a good way to get their vegetables in, and they'll never know the difference. That's like, how many of you all have made the Velveeta fudge, where you put Velveeta in it? You never could tell it has Velveeta, but it helps bind, and it makes a real thick, creamy fudge. Maybe I'll try. I'm doing the cooking class the 19th. Maybe that'll be something I ought to bring. Something super, super easy, and it makes a ton of fudge. But this cake is as you can see, it is a very thick cake, very bountiful cake. And I like to dice these really, really fine. No, just take them around to the other side. All right. So you all probably didn't think we were going to do anything with tomatoes the rest of the year. But tonight is letter T. We're well on our way through the alphabet. For the ones of you all that don't come very often, we do 1 letter of the alphabet a month till we have went to Z. And we've had a lot of different interesting recipes. And it's taken quite a while when we do 1 a month to get through the alphabet. Something really neat started, and everybody seems to enjoy it. We've got a lot of people that have collected the recipes from our cooking class and have collected all the letters of the alphabet recipes. All right, we've just about got these all chopped. All right. Yes, it would. I just didn't want to clean it tonight. Yes. If at home, I would probably use the food processor. And it would, you know, you don't want them pureed or anything, but you want them nice and diced. And I have a little lady that works for me. I work in the meat department, and that works for me, she can dice things to everything looks absolutely uniform. And I know that we probably drive her nuts because it's not uniform, but she can take a pepper and celery and onions, and they can all be diced absolutely perfect. And she is from China, and she moved here about 4 years ago, and she owned a Chinese restaurant in just outside of Hong Kong. And it is amazing the precision that she has with a knife. I just wished we could come close to that. I'm being very, very careful with sharp knives, as you well know. Especially, did we? Well, we've had a few accidents in our meat department, but thankfully everybody's okay now. And they always seem to happen at Christmas. I'm getting too big of a hurry sometimes. So I like to always remind people of taking time to slow down a little bit and take your time when you're doing this, because you can do it for years and still get cut. All right. But it always helps to have a sharp knife. And as you can tell, just a couple of tomatoes does, you know, it does the trick. You have a lot of tomato left. I don't know how many of you all have been to Man Farms in Virginia, but it's a nice little farm over there. It's a nice drive over, and he is a great supporter of Food City. And anytime we call him up and tell him we need him to donate anything or would he like to help with something, he's one of the first on board. He's absolutely a wonderful man, good in our area to help all of our local farmers. We've got a local farmer that works in our produce department that actually sells to Food City. I don't know if any of you all knew that. He sells pumpkins and squash and gourds and things like that. All right. Now, let's get our tomatoes in. Ooh, excuse me. That's all I had my hand over it. Things like that. Yes. Huh? Yes, it's a we've got it on convection. This oven is actually a wonderful oven to have. I would like to have one at home. It's a regular or a convection oven, and yes. Okay, I'm going to put these in there. Now earlier, I had plenty of time to put that back in the mixer. Let's see if I can get this stirred. Because this, like I said, is a very thick mix. You would want to blend this because it is hard to mix by hand. Yeah, yes. Okay. All right, well, this is just about ready to put in the pan. Now I have greased a pan. And I am going, as you can see, it's a very thick mixture. You know, some people don't like walnuts. Walnuts give things a real good wholesome, earthy taste. But if you don't like walnuts, I'm sure you could use pecans. Or if you don't like raisins, I think raisins give things just a good moist taste. And but there is people that don't like raisins, so you can mix and match. I like to put dates in things this time of year. Quite heavy. Okay. Now this cake takes a little bit longer to bake than most cakes that you get in the store, cake mixes. But like I said, it makes a full cake. And this is something to tell your company about. Like I said, after they've ate the cake, you can tell them what is in it. And we will put the coconut on it. Maybe. My fingers are wet. There we go. Now you will take a bag of coconut and sprinkle it across the top of this cake. Just kind of spread it out. Yes, a small bag of coconut. And I'm sure you can probably find it somewhere. It's just, we don't have it here, and we usually have about all varieties of everything. It's just kind of a thing of the past. It's just like the numbers on the cans, and you know, we don't have all that anymore. And we pop this into the oven. We're going to pretend we're popping this in the oven because I've got something in there right now. And when it comes out, this is what we've got. Magic cake.